Hello, how are you doing tonight? And what are you getting into? This is Alina Brown with Results Empowerment. Well, as a result of the efficiency coaching, women are able to gain clarity, insight, strategic, custom techniques to radically transform their life and business. We know somebody is looking to actually feel empowered, valued, aligned with purpose, using their personality, the authenticity, and their personality as a commodity. Give them my name. Alrighty, so today let's talk about been there, done that. Today I posted a post because usually I work with women to help them, and so I get women that sometimes people think that you're removed from their situation, that you haven't been through what they've been through, or that you don't know. And so today I posted the post. It says, I'm a woman who has settled for less in a relationship. Then I fought to keep that no good relationship. I've also sat back and allowed people the privilege of being in my life without boundaries. I've also been in a relationship that was violent in voice and physical force. I've allowed my emotions to set me back instead of propel me forward. I've allowed a standard to be set for me by so-called clergy. I've tried to appease people to coexist in an environment that was not suited for me to begin with. I've downplayed my intelligence for acceptance. I've seen beforehand how things would turn out and still defy God and self for a foolish people. So when I'm telling you to use your emotions to repel you and not keep you in a place, I've been there. When I see you operate in masculine energy to go hard in business but lose in love, been there, done that too. When I see the 48 laws of power and the art of war being used against you, I've done that too. And I say this because a lot of times women don't realize that most things in life is strategy. Most things in life is some type of systemic way of being or some type of clear, concise technique for it to be able to conquer and overcome you in all types of ways. So as women, we deal with relationships, we deal with parenting, we also deal with business, and we deal with actually being able to govern and run at home. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I love you, my little sister. And so with this being said, that when I was talking about the 48 laws of power, and I'm talking about the art of war from Sun Tzu, most women don't realize it, that men are running game on you all the time. Unless someone is coming to your life that's actually being led by the Most High and has the heart of the Most High to protect, provide, and maintain the family the way the Most High has told him, then in those cases, they're running some type of strategic way of being to actually get you to conform to their modus of operandi. And if you are led by your emotions, what they start with, the hearing, they start with telling you different things that they know you want to hear. Because men are very visual, but at the same time, women, we like to hear stuff. I tell women all the time, don't focus on what they say, but focus on what they do. Watch what they do, because they tell you all types of things because they get your emotions to tie you to a particular vision that they have for you, so they can get you into a mode of being that you won't be able to get out because you're entangled by your emotions. And when we lock in on something with our emotions as women, we're like a pit bull. We don't let it go. It's like a woman. When somebody is trying to steal her baby, she'll let the car drag her almost to her death before she let go, until you let that baby out that car, because women will pick up a car to get their child. Where our emotions and our adrenaline get to run, we'll hold on to a situation until we bring it to fruition. We increase each and everything. What I'm saying is, so with the emotions, men know we're wired emotionally. So because we're nurturers by nature and we're wired emotionally to increase and bring forth whatever you give us seed, we give you a baby. You give us groceries, we make you a meal. And so because we have that wired in us, and a man who's strategic knows that you're wired emotionally, knows exactly what to tell you and how to tell you. So we have it all backwards. We walk in masculine energy when it comes to going and getting business. And then when our relationships, we use feminine energy to stay in a situation that's not doing us any good. It's not serving us. It's actually blocking the blessing from somebody actually seriously walking into your lives that's actually going to bring substance. And so I'm going to go over this. These are just a lot of subjects that come to me all the time when women are coming to me. So hold on one second. So these are things that are very, very serious. And so I don't take these subjects lightly. I take it very seriously. So women, know that the 48 laws of power is very real. Just like the Sun Tzu, The Art of War. I told a person the other day, I said a person could see your vulnerability and take your vulnerability and hand it back to you and feed it to you so they could overcome and conquer you to get you into their modus of operandi of how they want you to operate in the relationship according to them pulling your strings like a puppet and you not even know it because we're wired emotionally. So if you are vulnerable, you show your vulnerability to the wrong person, that person goes, uh-huh. And then they tell you, hey, I see XYZ. And then they tell you, why don't you let XYZ come out more? So that can actually get you running over here for their own use and purpose for you. That is the art of war all day long. Please understand that people are playing chess with you to some degree. If their purpose is not locked into the purpose of the Most High, if their purpose is not aligned with righteousness, if their purpose is not aligned with vision that is clear, concise, and rooted and grounded in purpose for the benefit of all, then as a woman, you need to step outside of that. Because it's not going to ever serve you. So we got it wrong. When it comes to business, we use masculine energy to go get, instead of allowing stuff to come to us. And then when it comes to relationship, we use the feminine energy, which keeps us stuck into the wrong relationship. That's why you see women saying, oh, I don't even know anything what's going on. Me and Todd, we just don't get along. Todd is ruthless and Todd is doing this and Todd and went over here and had a baby and Todd over here is going with another woman and Todd over here is doing this and Todd is getting high and Todd is getting drunk. But I just love Todd. And I just can't let Todd go. And so therefore, I believe Todd when he say he's going to change. I believe Todd when he say he's going to leave that other woman. I believe Todd when he say he's going to stop drinking, going to start doing drugs. And you just keep on believing Todd because Todd is speaking in your ear, speaking in your ear, speaking in your ear. Ain't showing you nothing. He's actually, what he's doing is he's locked into the emotions that wire you. And he got you into a modus of operandi that has you operating on the lower level beneath your privileges and beneath the virtue of who you are so that you can actually fulfill foolishness. Where are you going in a relationship with no purpose and direction and no vision? Nowhere. I like Ellen DeGeneres. On that song, Ellen said, in Streets of Fire, the song that movie that came out in the 80s. If we ain't going nowhere, baby, we might as well go nowhere fast. So that's something that I want to touch on because we act like we're the only one that's ever loved somebody. Let me explain this to you. What's love got to do with it? If you see, and this is another thing women do that I don't understand that I want to touch on. If you are not going to leave, do not bring up discretions of the man. Because the minute that you bring up discretions of the man, you have become the other woman. Let me tell this to you. You've lost your wifey status. The minute you start bringing up, okay, oh, I saw this, I saw this in the car, and this is condoms, and you don't use the condoms with me, and who are you using the condoms with and stuff? And then they go, I don't know, it wasn't me, it wasn't mine, it was Joe's, it was Robert. It must have fell out when Robert asked me for a ride and stuff. And then you already know the answer to it when you ask it, and then you decide you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Now he gonna get real sloppy and real inconsiderate and real disrespectful. Now you just lost your status as the wife, and now you became the side piece. because now he going to be out doing whatever he want, when he want, how he want, because you just now put it on blast. I'm not strong enough to walk away and to make you do anything about what I just found out. I love that song by Shaggy. He said, you caught me on camera. It wasn't me. You saw me in the bed. It wasn't me. You saw me on the couch. It wasn't me. You standing there right there looking at me, but it wasn't me. And that's what men gonna say. It wasn't me. So women, use your masculine energy to walk away. Don't use your masculine energy to go get money. Use your masculine energy to use your logic and analytics to walk away from a situation that is abusive in nature, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And in most cases, financially. People say he ain't never hit me. He ain't got to hit you to disrespect you. You can be abused without a person ever touching you. When they start running over you, that's abuse. When they don't want to take care of you, that's abuse. When they disrespect you in front of you, that's abuse. When they try to make you unsafe, unsure, and insecure, and not confident, and tear you down, news flash, that is abuse. Anything that's coming against your definitive of purpose for what you were made for, which is to connect with this man, to actually connect and to cover him and to pray with him. And he is your covering, and he does not know what covering means. And he doesn't know how to cover you and be who God called him to be. Then I say this: use your masculine energy to turn your mind off and say, regardless of what my heart is saying, this is crazy, this is foolishness, and I must walk away. Now, don't go looking for stuff either. This is another thing. If I see something, when I was getting ready to leave, old Bucky Lucky, I ain't going to say his name because his family might be watching. They're going to say, quit talking about my uncle. So I'm not going to say his name. But when I got ready to leave, and I ain't talking about my kid's father, because my kid's father ain't done nothing stupid. So when I got ready to leave this person, and I began to see things that was happening, I didn't say I saw nothing. So, and because I didn't speak about what I saw, they continued to come home at the right time. They continued to check in and call in. I never lost my status. And then I started getting ready to leave. That they kind of figured that they started wanting to stay around because they can see I wasn't saying that I was getting ready to get out of there. I wasn't going to bring up nothing. Why you doing this? I saw you. All he was going to say is, I did not do it. It wasn't me. So why would I even bring it up? If I'm not ready to leave, I must make my way out before I start talking about what you doing. Because the minute I speak on something and I don't do nothing about it, I lose status and respect. So I'm off of that subject. Use your masculine energy to walk away from a person who does not deserve to even be called to even know you, let alone be in a marriage or a relationship with you. So now the next thing is that I wanted to cover, because this is the relationship thing I wanted to cover, because women act like they the only ones that's been in these situations. The next thing I wanted to talk about is using your emotions to benefit you, to propel you forward. You can use your emotions to take the same emotions you have to actually be anchored into foolishness. You can take those same emotions to get wired and get a strategy for success for yourself. That's something that I noticed that women, when I go to talk to women about business, they're very emotional in business. I don't understand that. Now that's the time to use some other type of energy. I'll ask them a question. So what do you mean by this business? Or what are you doing? Or what are you accomplishing? Or where are you going? Most women cannot tell you what results the people going to get as from working with them. They can't tell you that. And I want to know, because if I'm asking questions, most likely I'm interested. I don't inquire about anything that I'm not willing to invest in. When I'm inquiring about it, it's because I'm looking to invest into it and say, okay, well, maybe this is something I need to buy. Maybe it's a t-shirt I need to buy. I had this one lady, this one little girl. I'm telling you about how you use your emotions. The little girl saw me and she asked me a question when she was selling shirts in front of Walmart. Listen what she said. She just said, hey, buy my t-shirt. She said, hey, do you like little kids? Do you like children? I say, yeah, I love kids. She said, do you have any kids my age? And I said, well, I have grandchildren around your age. She said, oh, you like talking to them and being around with them. Would you be proud of them if they had a business of their own? I said, yeah. She said, okay, you would? Okay, these are my pink and black t-shirts. And you know what? When women wear these shirts, they look so beautiful and it goes with their complexion. I got other colors too besides the pink and black. And you look like you would look good with pink. Let's see. Let me put it by your face. Uh-huh. Are you? And I said, she said, how old is your grandkids? Then I told her she used my emotions to get me to buy from her. And then I said, baby, I don't have no cash. She said, that's okay. My mama right there, she got square. You see how she took the emotions to get me to buy from her? I was like, look at this little girl. She didn't say, hey, y'all got t-shirt, come get my t-shirt. She said, do you have kids? My age, do you like little children? Oh, would you be proud of little children if they had a business like? And then she started telling me what her business was. She asked me 3 questions and went right on into it. Somebody trained that little girl how to take emotions and turn things around. Take the emotions, learn how to do like the men do and use the 48 laws of power and use the art of war by Sun Tzu to actually benefit you in ways that you can actually make an impact on other people. Quit just straight out talking about your business. What you do? I sell dog houses. What? You sell dog houses? Well, what happened? You know what? Women that have, hi, how you doing? What do you do? What do you do? Oh, I'm glad you asked. As a result of working with me, people are able to actually get their dogs to obey them, listen to them, and do things more. And they actually win dog shows. They feel a lot better. They have more rest. They get more time. And you know what? The pets are a lot happier. Well, what do you do? Well, what's the name of this business? Say that. Start talking about people about how it's a benefit to work with you. So that's use your emotions that way. Get passionate and emotional about what you do, how people are benefiting from working for you. You know, people are getting out for Section 8 as a result of me actually being able to help them get qualified for homes that they never thought they would be qualified for. They're actually changing generations and legacies of being broken, generational curses and things that turn around for families. And I feel so great as a result of that. Well, how you do that? Thank you. See, that's how you talk about real estate. What I'll say, I'm a real estate agent. Okay, now that's emotions. Use your emotions to propel you forward in every way of life. The next thing I talked about in my thing was downplaying our intelligence for acceptance. I've been there, done that. Okay, listen to this. We downplay our intelligence so that we can fit into groups. Why do we want to fit in? Oprah never fit in. Diane Carroll didn't fit in. Eartha Kitt didn't fit in. Mahalia Jackson didn't fit in. Why do we want to fit in? Why do we downplay our intelligence so that other people would not feel dumb or that they would feel comfortable being in our presence? When I was doing something the other day, a lady said, well, that go to encyclopedia over there and pointed to me. And the other person said, do you happen to know about this? I said, well, I read about it and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then she said, well, a lot of subjects you know some things about. I said, do you watch a lot of TV? She said, yeah. I said, I don't have a TV by choice. I said, I choose to read and I choose to do research and I choose to read all the time. That's what I do for excitement. So I'm not going to downplay my intelligence and act like I'm dumb. So the next thing is, but I used to downplay my intelligence like I didn't know or whatever. When I was in school, I remember they said, let me count on her. And I go, nah, Because the kids get mad. They don't want to play with you. They don't want to do this and that. So you downplay your intelligence so that you can fit in. That is not good. Because I'm going to tell you something. You still ain't going to never fit in. Even if you downplay your intelligence, you're going to get tired of being around people that actually are not on your frequency. And you don't speak the same language they speak anyway. They're going to have values that you are not going to even be comfortable sharing with them. And then they're not going to know where you coming from. So that's just not going to be a match anyway. Also, knowing things beforehand, how they're going to turn out, but still define the God self inside of you for foolish people. I was in a situation and me and the person got along really good. And the person was like, oh, I want to marry her. We want to get together. And it was just such a great situation or whatever. So it seemed on the outside. Person was real nice or whatever. And then I had this vision about the person. So I went to some friends. I said, I'm going to call off this relationship. I'm not going to go forward with it. Why are you calling off the relationship? Did he do anything to you? I said, no. Did he say anything? I said, I had a vision. And the vision was very clear on how this is going to end up. So I've been there, done that before. So I'm just going to loose this from my heart. So I'm going to let this person go. Well, I think you're jumping to conclusions. You probably shouldn't do that. You might need to investigate more. Wait until something happens. I'm already emotionally caught up if I wait till something happens, and I'm going to be so entangled, I won't be able to get out of it. If I clearly saw the vision of where he was at and what was happening with him, why would I wait for the shoe to drop? The best time to pull out is when you've been forewarned. Only a fool waits for something to happen. Just like if for something to say, tornado is coming to Fresno right now. It's coming. It's right on the same street that you on. We're blowing the horn and we're telling everybody to go to the south side and go down Highway 5. And we'll be there. We have people to help you. And you sit there and say, well, I'm going to wait till it happens. Then I'm going to go on Highway 5 and wait for the people to help me. Well, if you wait till it happens, when your car's spinning out of control and the wind is blowing you everywhere and probably taking you up and throwing you into a tree, it's too late at that point. That's the same way we do in life. We know where this is going to end up. But we flirt with disaster. I'm just going to see how far I can go with this. Maybe he going to be different. Maybe this is going to be different. I got an employee, the person working for me in my business. They ain't never producing nothing that I need them to produce. And actually, they're causing me some problems. They're causing me some fines and stuff. But you know what? I'm going to try to work with her a little bit more and see where this going to go. You already know how it's going to end up, how it's been ending up. Why are you going to wait till she do something bad, like get you in a lawsuit or cause you to be sued, and then now you in a real mess? Same way with other things. If you know beforehand, because you've gotten insight, foresight, and divine revelation about where this thing is going, ain't no need of flirting with disaster and seeing how far you can take it. Because you know where you're going to take it? Anything from he declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient time, things have never been done, said only my counsel will stand. That's a word. Go look it up. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, things have never been done. So if the end is being declared from the beginning, you have the insight, foresight, divine revelation of how that's going to end up. Why would you flirt with disaster? So we covered that. So now we're going to go to the next thing I was talking about earlier. I allow the standard to be set for me by so-called clergy. Now, you got people that tell you how you should look, how you should talk, how you should walk, and how you should be. That's way too much control. That's just way over the top. But we have that happen in our lives. Do you know that most women that are single in the so-called, I'm not going to say it, stay single? Because they out quoting everything they didn't heard from the man from the podium saying And they don't really know how to express what's inside of them and be who God called them to be. Nobody can decide how you walk out your spirituality. But people have a tendency to think that they can. I've had people take me in the bathroom to try to find out what was under my clothes. That's a whole nother subject and story. I've endured some things under people's leadership. And I'm here to tell you that is some ridiculousness. So I'm going by the things that women experience and women call me about. So I'm going over some of these things because a lot of times when I give you answers, people think that I'm far removed from their situation. I'm being honest and open and transparent today. I've been through some things where I've been called out. I've been through some things where I've been called a name. I've been through some things where I've been excommunicated and exorcised inside the so-called. I have had things happen to me in the name of the Most High. And I will explain this and tell you this, that a lot of times women suffer things that the men don't suffer in the congregations that men don't. I will here to tell you that that's not the highest and best for you. Also, I've tried to appease people to coexist in an environment that was not suited for me to begin with. Going into an environment that's not suited for you so that you can actually appease the people that don't like you in the first place is just craziness. Trying to appease the people that don't like you to fit into an environment that you know that you don't belong to is actually probably holding you back from your full potential of who God has made you to be. The next thing is, I've been in a relationship that was violent in voice and physical force. I have. I've been in a relationship where I retaliated on the person I was marrying. I retaliated and fought the person back and got the best of them. When they called the police arrested me. Even though the person had priors for beating up women, they just didn't get the best of this one. They took me too. And I had to defend myself in the court of law. And I was the woman that was actually trying to protect myself. So in the South, women are not always protected and sheltered. I'll tell you about another woman in Louisiana. She wrote this book called Weep for the Living. Her husband, and she stayed in a historical home to where they did tours inside the home. And it was a historical plantation property where they came and did tours and stuff like that. And the husband came to kill her, but he knew that they didn't do tours on Sundays. But this particular time, she actually had a tour for a Sunday, which she normally did not ever do that. And so what happened is she was there. He came, sat in a chair right by her and shot her and shot her and shot her. And she said something, say, play dead. So she collapsed and he sat there and watched her. She was still conscious, but she closed her eyes. He sat there and watched her. Then somebody came because he was not expecting there to be a tour on a Sunday. Well, they don't have a tour on that property on Sundays. And what happened is they came. That person was a much older person than her. And it was very hard to get him. He was friends with a judge. He was friends with so many attorneys. He was a prominent man in society in Louisiana. It took a lot for them to try to bring him to justice. And they still let him out because they didn't want him to die in prison. Stop it. Even though he was trying to kill her. And he was shocked when she was able to testify and when they was able to come. And so when he left, when he heard the people and they found her and she was able to say who did it to her and she was able to go to the hospital and she was able to recover, he thought she was dead. And so I've come across so many of that. When I was in Louisiana, I come across a fireman who fed his wife animal feces. He didn't get no time because he was a fireman. Everybody protected him. I came across a lady who was running a company, and actually I went to tell her what had happened to me in my situation. She started crying. Her husband was a prominent person in society who had took her kids from her and abused her to no end. So I've come across women who've actually been in situations similar and sometimes a lot worse than what I was in. And this is something that we need to know, that the sisterhood needs to be returned to all communities of all ethnic groups, because we need to learn to love and to care and to respect and to honor one another with humility and with care, so that we can feel safe going to our sister, because we're not competing against our sister, because you don't want to think she's going to take your man, or she's going to be looking at you, or she's going to be judging you. We got to get to the point where we actually have a real sisterhood, because when women have an outlet, they don't suffer the same way as women who don't have nowhere and nobody to talk to about what is happening to them. So we've got to start coming together as a force of women. So I wanted to go over that, because violence is perpetrated on women on a lot of time. When I was in Georgia, there was a lady, I was doing mortgages and stuff. In the middle of me doing her mortgage or whatever, her best friend was killed by the man she had been married to for 20-something, for a long time, at least about 20 years or whatever. They went to school together, and he had been also abusing her, and she never said anything to her best friend and was shocked. The kids spoke up when the dad was on trial, and the kids were the ones saying, listen, this is what's been happening in our household. Her best friend was totally shocked, because she never felt that she can go to anybody to tell them what was happening. A lot of times people don't listen. The next thing I want to go over is, I've also sat back and allowed people the privilege of being in my life without boundaries. So I'm a woman. I fought to keep that no good relationship. I'm a woman who was settled for less than a relationship, then I fought to keep that no good relationship. So I've been on here for quite some time. I try not to stay on some of my lives alone, but most of them are not. Hopefully this can help somebody that can actually share and like, help somebody else know that women need strategies. They need custom, strategic ways, systemic ways of actually to radically transform their life and their business. They feel empowered, value, aligned with their purpose, and using their femininity as a commodity. If you know somebody that actually is in that situation, then you might want to refer them to me, Results Empowerment. So with that being said, I'm actually not going to hold you too much longer. I went over a lot of the things that I've done, a lot of the things that qualify me to work with women to actually help them to make that shift in their life. You're not alone. Don't give up. Don't give in, and don't you quit. Just know that you're not alone. You're not the first one that's been in a relationship that you tried to hold on to for too long. You're not the first one to actually to come across somebody that may have spoken to you wrong or hit you or something of that sort. You're not the first one to actually be set back or try to appease people. But the purpose of this live was to let you know, be authentic. Use your personality, use your femininity to actually let it work for you. Don't ever let your guard down. Be very strategic, because life is about strategies. Get clarity on what your purpose, definitive purpose is at all times, even a relationship. Treat a relationship like a business. If it is in a situation what is adversely affecting you, then do just like you would do in a business. Create an escape. Write you an exit strategy for how to move forward with something that is no longer serving you. Peace and blessings. Been there, done that. Share the video with somebody. Help them out. Peace and blessings.